What if you could create a trailer for an entire series story? Consistent characters, cinematic locations, video, music, and voices, without ever leaving a single platform. That's exactly what I did. I brought Dragon Raiders to life, a Nordic world of rival houses and a legendary dragon, using only Magnific. Stick around because I'm going to walk you through the whole workflow, from the idea all the way to the final edit in Premiere. Let's take a look.
Cathor has slept for 100 years, and whoever wakes him will control everything.
Then you cannot fail. Your people are counting on you.
The dragon answers strength. You cannot fail.
Take my hand. I'll always be here for you.
Easy. Take my hand.
No matter what happened with Elena, you cannot fail. The fate of Alstrek is in your hands.
I have waited for the one who seeks power and will do anything to take it.
Elena, this isn't you! This isn't you!
Wow, that trailer genuinely got me excited. Wouldn't you want to see the next episode already? For this project, I'd had an idea in mind for a while. A world set in medieval times where we have two houses, House Viltrum and House Drecki, and whose protagonists, Elena and Rylan, are on a quest to control the most important dragon, named Cator. So in this trailer, we'll be creating today using Magnific. We'll go step by step through the process of reaching the final trailer, along with some tips I'll share with you throughout these production and post-production stages.
I'll leave a link below to Magnific so that you can check it out yourself.
To begin, we'll create our characters, Rylan and Elena. For that, we'll head to the image generator. When it comes to characters, I like to use Nano Banana Pro for its attention to detail and the consistency of its results. For character generation, I like to start with a medium shot of my protagonist. And for that, I usually use a 4:3 format. And here a very brief description of our character. This was the prompt I used, and I improved it using an LLM. In this case, I use Claude. Once we have it, we generate. We'll do the same for Rylan. And here's the result, our character Rylan and our character Elena. Now that we have our medium shot, we'll need to generate different angles. This is so we can use a very interesting feature Magnific provides called character. We need to include at least 3 images of the character. I like to include a medium shot, a full shot, and a 3/4 shot. With those 3 angles, in my experience, it's more than enough for the tool to generate our characters. We'll go to the references section, the character section, and to create. As you can see, I already have the 3 main characters of my story, Elena, Rylan, and the dragon Cator. As you can see, even for non-human characters, we can create characters. And here's a very interesting part of Magnific. Magnific lets you add or link a voice to the character you're creating, so that every time you reference that character, that voice is included consistently across all your generations. Once we have this, we create our character and done. It's in our library and ready to use in our generations. Now let's move to step 2. Locations. As I said, I'd like a more cinematic look, set in snowy mountains. For that, again with the help of an LLM, we'll briefly explain our goal and our references if we have any, and we'll get a very detailed description of our location. In this case, I'll keep using Google Nano Banana Pro, but with a different aspect ratio, in this case 21:9, for a more cinematic look, and we'll generate our locations. For the video, I need the interior of House Viltrum, the interior of House Drecki, the snowy landscape location, a lake location for flashbacks, and finally, the look of Cator's Cavern, which is where our character is set. Once our locations are ready, we can move on to the video part. We'll switch from image mode to video and use Seedance 2. And here's a tip. If you want to make sure your prompt works well without wasting too many credits, limiting the resolution to 480p. This lets us test our prompts before generating the higher quality version, so we're more efficient with our credit usage. And here's an interesting part for video generation. As I mentioned, for the image side, I'd been relying on LLMs like Claude or Gemini. But jumping from page to page can interrupt your creative flow, so for this part, I decided to try the prompt editor that Magnific offers. And for all the generations of our trailer, it worked exceptionally well. Let's make our first scene. Let's add our references, in this case, our opening scene, set in the Council of House Viltrum, which includes the council and our character. As you can see, we have a bar that distinguishes the type of content we want. If I go to the character section and select my character, the whole character will be referenced. And here we'll go to the prompt editor. We'll explain very briefly and in broad strokes what our idea is. As you can see, as we guide our elements, Magnific understands exactly what we want to add as an element. In this case, Elena. We can also include the dialogue we want our character to say, and since we linked a voice to our character, everything they say will sound exactly the same, no matter which generation we make. As you can see in this simple prompt, I'm making a multi-shot prompt with 3 scenes. Once we have it, we'll send it to the Magnific assistant. The result is an extremely detailed prompt that perfectly understood it's a multi-shot, sets the duration of each shot, and very concisely specifies how to achieve it cinematically. We'll apply the prompt, review our settings, and once it's ready, we generate. Now let's look at the results.
Cathar is the most important thing in this war. The one that control him, control everything.
Then you cannot fail. Your house counts on you.
It's a really good result for something made with Magnific's built-in tool. As you could see, it came from a very basic description and respected everything we asked for. And as I said, this is a very efficient way to test our prompts before generating for real. In this example, I think Elena could have more intention in the first line, which I can now adjust and generate my final video. And for reference, this was the final video.
Cathar has slept for 100 years, and whoever wakes him will control everything.
Then you cannot fail. Your people are counting on you.
Impressive, right? Now that we know the workflow, we can generate the rest of our scenes for the video. And as a tip, some of the shots that didn't fully convince me, besides trying different prompts, I generated in batches of 2 for the power of being able to choose between them. With all the scenes we need ready, we'll move on to creating the music for our trailer. We'll go to the Audio Music Generator section and use the ElevenLabs model. Here we'll set a duration, in this case I'll say 2 minutes 30, but remember, we also have the prompt editor option. So if we give a brief description of the music we want, we'll get a result without having to go to an external page. And after a few minutes of waiting, we have our song. An impressive result, and one that right away sets the tone for the trailer's rhythm. One last tip. Once your video prompts have been tested and you're happy with the result, these are the parameters I recommend using as your template. In the settings, 1080p resolution with a 21:9 ratio to get that cinematic look in our final result. And once we have all the elements ready, video and music, we'll head to our editing software to assemble everything. In this case, I'll use Premiere Pro. And this was the result of my timeline. As I said, for several of the generations, I made more than one attempt. This was so I could pull a shot from one generation, or shots from different generations, and assemble them all so the story has more cohesion. One of the main tips I'd recommend is the J-cut and L-cut technique. Sometimes hearing the audio of the next shot while still seeing the previous one, and vice versa, something like this.
You cannot fail.
As you can see, a much more cinematic result. And this, in very broad strokes, was the breakdown of my timeline. One thing I added was a bit of color correction, specifically a little vignette, to enhance that cinematic feel. And I also added a bit of noise. I add noise to get rid of that artificial AI texture and get a texture more like something shot on film. And that was the final result.
All right, now, my verdict on Magnific. I think it's a platform that stands out for an extremely clean, very user-friendly interface, with very powerful tools, like character creation and the prompt editor built into the platform itself. It's basically having an LLM integrated into the platform, which is a huge plus for creatives who want everything in one place. Another thing I really liked about Magnific is the inclusion of unlimited models for image creation, because believe me, having this bonus of unlimited generations at no cost really makes a difference when budgeting for platforms. I'm going to strongly recommend Magnific for its effectiveness at generating content, and don't forget their strong upscalers not only for image, but for video, enhancing the details of your video in a professional way. That's it for now, and remember, AI generates, you choose.
Everything that you just watched was generated inside Dreamina using their AI agent, AI image generator, and AI video generator. Let's start off with the image generator. Here we have a jacket that I found on the internet, and I want to promote this jacket, but I don't have a model. So let's create a model first. Here you can see the simple prompt I made. And the cool thing is that the prompt doesn't need to be too long when you use Seedream. Add the jacket or whatever product you have, and after that you add the man or whatever model you generated. Seedream will combine the two images for you and generate the image based on your prompt. Here we have the results. Fantastic. If you want to animate the image, simply press Generate Video and choose your model. Like the amazing Seedance 2.0, and the result is fantastic. It keeps the detail in the jacket and model, and it even generates audio. Similarly with the image of the woman I generated in the snow. I found a dress that I wanted her to wear, and look at all the details in this dress, and check out what Seedream 4.6 can do with just combining the original image with the dress. We upload it just like we did with the man, and check out the quality. All the details in the dress are still there. It is very high quality and exactly what you need. One thing that I forgot to say, you can also do a kind of a face swap. I combined 3 images. I added another image model as a reference for the face. If you're a fan of the channel, you might remember this woman used in multiple videos. She's identical to the uploaded image. You can also upscale the image if you want to. Check out the detail that is recovered using upscaling on Dreamina. Animate it using Dreamina Seedance 1.5 Pro, and the result is fantastic. If you need some additional help in creating your videos or images, you do have the option of using their AI agent that works really well. So I just said, generate a fictional sports drinks called Sea Breeze. It should be light blue packaging. It analyzes the simple prompt that I wrote, and it created all of these images. And I loved this one. I used an LLM with a simple prompt, give me a 15-second cinematic, realistic video, multi-shot. And once I had that, I added our bottle as a reference pressing @ and I used Dreamina Seedance 2.0 to create the following videos. I prompted for a slightly darker gym and more golden tones, and I got this. The last example we're going to have a look at in this video is the monster clip. When you use text to video using Seedance 2, you can use human faces. And the quality is, it's probably the best out there on the market. It is so realistic looking. Again, I made the prompt using an LLM just to help me out a little bit and breaking the scenes down so I don't have to spend a lot of time figuring out what's going to happen in every scene. I love it. So I suggest you to go to Dreamina, where you can then use Dreamina Seedance 2 to generate your videos. Try out the fast version as well because it is very good. Check out Seedream as well. Upload multiple image references to get high quality images. And also check out the AI agent because it might surprise you actually. And do remember that you can sign up for free on Dreamina. And if I'm not mistaken, you can actually get 1 week free if you sign up for the basic option. But always remember, even though Dreamina is very good, you still have to use your human touch. As always, AI generates. You choose.